Name of the day, Gentle Lips. You can also call me Nathan. You can call me Nate, but please don't ever call me Nathaniel. And as I said, we're going to do another Masochist challenge run. Today's Masochist challenge is the Pacifists. So the Pacifists challenge is that we have no units with more than 0 strength, or basically, let me say that in reverse. All units must have 0 strength by the time we reach Seraph. And we're only allowed 1 damage spell in the deck. So you might be asking yourself, well, if we don't have any damage from units, and we only have 1 damage spell, how in the world can you win? Well, it's a little bit RNG. We're going to have to get some very specific units to make it work. But let me run through the theory. So the only combination that I could imagine making this work with is Awoken and Stygian Guard, because they're the only 2 clans that have 0 damage. I mean, they're the only ones that have the 0 damage units anyway. And then on top, they have all these other mechanics which can help you still succeed even with 0 damage. So the first thing is we're going to have to take the Sentient, because it's the only champion that has 0 damage. Other cards in the deck that will help are so we don't want a lot of damage spells, so we're not going to be able to take Stings, Root, but not really going to be super useful for us with this particular challenge. So there's going to be spikes, right? So you can enhance with spikes, because that's technically not strength. So we could build a spikes deck, spikes only deck. Could be quite difficult to get enough spikes to take out the big units. So I don't think that using spikes alone will be enough. And as well, we can't take, where is it? We can't take Sharpen, because Sharpen applies strength. Right, so we have to use, if we're going to do spikes, we have to do spikes with things like Spreading Spores, Cycle of Life, and where is it? And Pyre Shards. Okay, but that is one way we could go. We could go heavy spikes build. You can get the Channeler, so the Channeler has 0 strength, so that's perfectly fine. And that could be, again, the one way we go. Okay. Second way we go is an incant build. So then we're going to need units like, where are they? Guardians. I mean, Guardian Stone just to build armor. I mean, it doesn't really help you win, but could be very useful for other purposes. Incant for Frostbite, right? So we could stack Frostbite by playing a lot of non-damage spells like healing spells and so on, deck manipulation spells, and Sap. So those are kind of the 3 that I'm looking at. You could also get Titan Sentry as a tank, because on Revenge he applies Frostbite. So it's going to be this kind of combination of spikes, saps, frostbites. I don't know if it's strong enough to get all the way through Seraph, but I thought this would be a really fun challenge for me. We'll see how it goes. Without further delay, let's get into the run. I'm not going to do it on the higher covenants. I want to try it out on Covenant 1 first. I think that will give me a good indication how feasible it is. So we can do it on Covenant 1, we can try it, and if we can do it quickly, I'm happy to try it again on one of the larger covenants, or one of the higher covenant levels. But to start, let's just do it with, we've got Awoken, we've got Stygian Guard, and let's give it a shot. So here we go, attempt number 1 on the Pacifist deck challenge. What do we start with? Stings. So those are 2 cards we'll have to get rid of. Energy Siphon, we don't have to get rid of them, but they're not particularly useful for what we're trying to do with this deck. Restoring Retreat could be useful, depending on how we set it up. Like if we're doing incant triggers, then doing Restoring Retreat allows us to heal a user, or allows us to heal a unit, stack more of the incant units on a single floor, and then once it's descended, we can continue to cast more spells. And artifact, start a battle, summon 4 random units. I don't think that's going to be terribly useful. Cards with consume. We don't have any consume cards now, but a lot of the cards we're going to want are going to have consume, so we'll be prioritizing them anyway. I don't think draw is going to do it for us because we're trying not to have damage-based units. So here we'll take the spikes. Enemy units enter with armor 10. We're gonna need the unit draft, and I think we have to go for it. And on these early fights, we will have some damage units. It's just later on where it's going to be a little bit more challenging. So we can put our spike unit in front. We can put the train steward behind. And who's going to be harder? I mean, we don't even need to worry about this guy because he dies anyway to the pyre because he doesn't do any damage. We can just add a restore to reduce damage a little bit, and I don't know. I mean, we can put energy siphon on him just in case we need to kill him to get to the backliner. We put a train steward out. We can frozen lance. If we do another energy siphon, then the frozen lance almost gets him. With another train steward, he'll be quite low. One, two, three. That gets him low enough. We could put the train steward in front here to save some damage. So 1, 2, 3, and now we're taking out this foot soldier. I think we are going to want regen and health on our sentient. Does he do... Okay, he's the one that does the resolve triggers. I think here we want to buff up. Well, we could put another train steward down, and then just do one big frozen lance, and let's put down our less healthy train steward. That adds another 100 damage. And we can do double spell weakness. We are gonna take... So we need to do... We're not gonna be able to kill him. That puts him at 125. Yeah, we're not going to be able to kill him. So instead, let's get this guy down to a single shot. So we'll take 6 damage. Trading 6 damage for a unit is a really good trade. We just need to use the sting. And I don't care if this train steward dies. If we heal him, that will allow for another attack. That might actually be enough to kill him. That would have been enough, I think, with combination of one of the spells. It's a little unfortunate. We could have avoided 6 damage, but hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us. And... well, actually it wouldn't have been enough, because we only would have done 18 damage with the Frozen Lance. So even on these early fights, we're already relying quite a lot on our damage units. We didn't really get a spell we can use. It's not so great. We can get the offering token now with the hope that we're able to combine it with... so we didn't get any of the units that we need. That's why I say this deck is going to rely on RNG because we have to roll the 0 damage units, and we can't always guarantee it. We're gonna need to go. Yeah, we need to go for another unit. We didn't get another one. I'm almost wondering if we already tried to scrap. Not getting a second unit by the second floor is pretty bad. We'll do one more. We'll take out 2 train stewards. Or 1 train steward and 1 frozen lance. I guess we could have taken the Glimmer as a potential damage spell. Non-boss enemies enter with spikes, that's fine. The goal is that they die to our sentient. At least the incidental units will. Problem is these healers. Put down the sentient, we can do 1. Two, 3, 4. Get down to 13. This might not be the run that does it for us. We need double energy siphon or energy weakness on him. Regen applies after. So 1 energy siphon and a sting will do it. And I'm considering restoring retreat. But let's see what else we get. We can get a frozen lance, and then we can then retreat this train steward, or we can just heal up the sentient. What are we going to get in our next hand? We're going to get 2 restores, energy siphon, sting, frozen lance. So I think we will want to bring this guy down. Let's do it like that, and let's see if we can somehow manage to actually take out the boss. He's only taking 30 damage. We can increase that a little bit. The problem is this guy healing here. Let's increase our health. Increase our health and regen. We can do... That's doing right now 17. That's gonna do, and we don't want to actually increase his damage that much more, so let's put some spell weakness on him. And we're gonna take 2 shots to the top. If we don't get another 0 damage unit, then I think we'll scrap the run. Offering token. Spell weakness. Spell weakness, spell weakness. Frozen lance, sting, sting. So we're gonna take 3. Alright, let's see if we get at least 1. In Graph and Wildwood Sap are both really great. I think Wildwood Sap is going to be better for us. And only damage spells. Let's see what unit we can get. We're gonna have more luck with the Stygian units. Titan Sentry, so we have 1 now, and I think we duplicate it right away. just to make sure that we have at least these 2 units. That puts us with 3 tanks that we can use to try to gain damage onto the enemy. We'll take Gift of Gratitude, although that might have been a mistake. Being able to stack up more damage on our Pyre and utilizing Sap is the other way that we can try to win this challenge. So let's trim out some of these guys here, and as they're doing rage, actually it might have been better to use the Gift of Gratitude. Can I absorb 15 damage? I think we need to, and I think better is going to be putting our Titan Sentry on the bottom, putting the Sentient on the top, because Frostbite they'll take damage every time they go up a floor, whereas, and we'll just take 60 gold now, whereas the spikes deal damage immediately. And I think we definitely need to restore him. We need to put out the second Titan Sentry. What I'm going to do is put him up here for now, with the expectation that I will lower him down later on. And we need to get a lot of damage on. I mean, these guys will all die from the Frostbite damage. Why is he taking damage? He's not attacking me. Oh, he does it to all enemy units. So that's really great. So then they'll all have quite a lot stacked onto them. We can do Spell Weakness and a Sting. We need a Frozen Lance to get rid of the bomb. We can put Energy Siphon onto the boss. And let's see what we draw. I think we need the heal and 1 Train Steward. So let's put the heal onto him. And we can put out a Train Steward. He's going to take 8 and 7, 15, down to, and then he'll add another 3. So 8 and 10. If we put 1 Train Steward out, then he dies. Yeah. Or actually 1 Frozen Lance will do it as well. So I think we have, or a Sting. Will a Sting do it? 15 plus 5 plus 3 will do it. So I think then better would be to put a Train Steward here to start putting more damage onto these guys, because they're not going to have quite as much Frostbite. This one is a problem. 1, 2, 3. I can heal him. 1. It does double, so it's going to do 20. That will put him at 21. And the restore trigger is not going to be enough. I don't think so. Yeah, he's still dead. Dang, I think that might be it for us. We put him down, then they take let me think about this. Putting him down, one of those kills him, And the other one can die to our fire. We take 10 damage here, which does extra frostbite on the boss. We can add extra spell weakness. Let's see what we get. A sting. I think we get rid of one of our restores. Sting puts him within kill range of the pyre. We get a second. The train stewards just die. We want to put him behind there, and we want to heal up our our incant unit, the Titan Sentry. Put another spell weakness. We can get a big Frozen Lance. Definitely are going to need Wildwood Sap. We can stack an extra restore on him, which heals him. Or we can restore and move this guy down. He'll hit. How much frostbite will he have at the end? We could even actually we can't put him in the middle. We don't have any other units to stop him with. If we descend it down now, as opposed to increasing his health and giving him an extra stack, I think we try this first. That puts him at 154. That's doing 30 damage, 35 damage. We're gonna have him at close to 200. How much frostbite will he have? 18 frostbite. He's taking another 81 damage. Is the 2 restores better? I don't think so. Than just giving him 7 health. These would give him 3. So 2, 4, 6, 7. So it's 7 over time versus 10 right away. It probably doesn't make a big difference. So then we can heal him for at least one other hit and drop his health down again. And he will die faster to the pyre. We can do 4 hits. 4 hits plus his frostbite damage should be enough, but we're really close to dying already. So we got through data lists. Let's see if we get anything which can be useful for us. Siren Song or Spreading Spores? Getting holdover on Siren Song would allow us then basically to rely on our Pyre's damage. Spike of the Stygian would allow us to stack more Frostbite and start putting sap onto the entire floor. Wait, no, it's on a single unit. It's on a single unit, sorry. Is it? It is. It's on a single unit. I think we go with Siren Song. Another Titan Sentry. And what do we want? I think it's more draw, and then we start reducing the energy. So we stack Frostbite all the way up to, that means we have 3 now. We really need an incant unit. We don't want necessarily to buff our units. I think we're actually okay with how the units are set up now. We have a lot of heals, And I think an artifact would be really useful for us, depending on what it is. Regen restores +1 health per stack is going to be very helpful for us. Getting rid of 2 train stewards now. And what Stygian unit? Offering! Okay, that's good. We can get draw. That's better than nothing. And upgrading our champion, probably with more spikes, is going to do it. We keep our champion on the top floor. They enter with 15 armor for 150 coins. Our pyre's at such low health right now, and I don't know that we can afford to have so many weight of contritions in our deck, so we're going to skip. We have a lot of coin right now anyway. Alright, so we put 1 Titan Sentry on the bottom floor, 1 Titan Sentry on the middle floor, and our champion on the top floor. And let's just see what we get on the draw. Another regen. We can't use both of them. So this is cool because now these regens restore 2 health, meaning, I mean, he would have taken 0 damage anyway. But yeah, just to negate any of that damage. The thing is, we can stack 2 sentries if there are going to be sweep units, right? Because then they'll both take damage, they'll both apply the frostbite to all units. And so he'll die automatically on the next turn. But we will start getting those weight of contritions. I think we sting for the gold. Get rid of the weight of contrition. Oh, I should have been putting... Let's put the offering monument here. Put the second Titan Sentry here. And then we don't really want to draw right now. So I'll play the Sting onto this bottom unit, which actually makes sense anyway. He's going to be the harder one to kill. Might have made sense to put him down here, but I think this is an okay setup. We can put a train steward. So this guy we don't need a pyre song because he will die anyway. I think we need to get the train steward out of the deck. We can put a wildwood sap onto the bottom unit. The question is, do we play the train steward? Or is train steward or wildwood sap? Let's get the train steward out. We can play the wildwood sap on the bottom unit. We kept it, which is fantastic. And then we can stack spell weakness that will make it do 18 damage, which is great. Let's use the Sting and see what else we get. Adding another regen would help a lot as well. And now we actually are okay to draw. Maybe we get a Sting, we didn't, but that's okay. It gives us a better chance of getting back into our Pyre Song once again. So then he's dying to the Pyre. We didn't get Pyre Song. We do have, let's see, he will take 27 damage. We can get him down to 5, 10, 16, 22, which is not quite enough. He will die in 1 hit to our Pyre, so we'll take 5 damage there. Then let's focus on... Let's stack another Wildwood Sap. I think it's better that we keep stacking onto the same unit. And oh, actually, we could get to our pyre song. 1, 2, 3. An offering should get us there. Did not, but we have another. We will not be using Restoring Retreat. Let's Energy Siphon again. And Pyre Song. And then we can put a nice chunk of damage onto this unit. Or we can add even more restore onto our Titan Sentry. I think we'll go with that. Because the boss is coming soon. Another Pyre Song. That's fantastic. Well, let's descend now this Train Steward. Or stacking 2 more regen. I think having him being able to tank for the Train Steward so much is going to be really helpful. And we did lose the Wildwood Sap on the second time. Let's, just to be extra safe, let's stack some spell weakness on him. And maybe we didn't get a sting. We can almost kill the boss right now. If we descend the other Train Sentry, I think we kill him. We can do Energy Siphon, Sting, Sting, Descend, and that kills the boss. So it's kind of working. At least we got it to work much better on this round. We didn't even take any pyre damage because of the pyre songs. Whew. Ensnare is quite good. Pyre shards could also be very useful for us. Descending more units. What are we going to go to on the next area? What would we want to duplicate? Maybe our other Wildwood Sap. Rooted is quite good. It allows us to stack more Frostbite onto units, and we get it. We get to draw more the next turn after. I think we can do that. And Guardian's Amulet. That's going to be extremely helpful. Sap. The only issue is we might not get revenge triggers if we sap. So we may... that may not synergize so well. I think getting the extra draw... And we only have 1 discard right now. So I think getting the second Wildwood Sap is going to be the target right now. Do we want to get more damage on our Pyre? It's right now going to do 90. If we get plus 9, it does 100... What, 111? I don't think that's worth it. What about the heal? Getting 6. I don't think it's worth having a card that is, for the most part, dead in our hand. And we have to be very careful how we play out our hands. I think we just skip. So I don't know if this deck will go all the way. We for sure cannot do non-boss enemy and units heal. Yeah, that's a death sentence. We don't want spikes on the bottom floor. We can put our spikes on the second floor. We don't even want to use our Sting and Frozen Lance. because it will make them... Well, is it changing anything? 2 of them dying is the same, right? And being able to use our Sting allows us to draw more in the next turn. It's still going to be 8. No, it's going to be 12 damage if we kill them, so we can't afford to do that. Let's put Wildwood Sap, hope that it doesn't consume. It did not consume. And we put a second Titan Sentry now. I think that is fine. Now if we double Sting and Frozen Lands, it's still not worth it. So we'll just get a second Titan Sentry down there for later. We can put down the Offering Monument. Get Energy Siphon. Root him. And we Frozen Lance and get a Train Steward out on this floor, I think. Or we just stack more Restore. But we actually don't want to draw another card. If we drew Offering Token... Yeah, we really don't want to draw Wildwood Sap. So I think... Oh man, if we got the Offering Token, we could reduce the damage taken by quite a lot. Well, the 1 sap actually will make it so that they don't take any damage, they just sit here. So I think instead we want to put Train Steward up top there. So let's get... Start with Wildwood Sap. We kept it. This is really working out well. We can Sting. And then I'm almost thinking putting the Train Steward down. Let's put the Titan Sentry up top so that it gets played. We can root this guy again. We can do the sap to reduce his damage, because that will lower it, and they still, all the rest of them still die. So we can do something like that. We can put more spell weakness on him. Put more spell weakness on him. Do a sap. And then do another Wildwood Sap, and we kept it again. So he's already got 13 regen. It's kind of a strange way that it's working out, but it is working. Do we root him another time? Let's root him again. Play the Wildwood Sap, which that time we did lose it. We can add another energy weakness, which then we Sting. And then I think better than doing more damage is to continue to stack up his regen. Now here, I think we definitely Pyre Bound, so it dies. 9, so they need 2 sap. With 3 sap, they don't do any damage now, and I actually want them to take damage. Let's put the other Wildwood Sap down. It is now also gone, so trying to maintain here makes a lot of sense. He's now officially dead, just from... Yeah, and he's healing it all back. So, I mean, he ended up with a lot of damage, but I think keeping him sapped, or keeping him locked down on that bottom floor was really beneficial for us. If we energy siphon him again, we can sting for 15 damage. We can sting again, so now he's dying. We don't need... well, we might as well use it. Right? Now he's not dying. But they will attack... well, I guess we hope we get Pyre Bound again. We can also root one of them and do spell damage to one of them as well. So they're going to take 8 and 10. 18 puts them at 3. Actually, they won't do any damage. So instead, let's stack another regen onto our... and they might not even get to the top because our boss is going to die. That's what I was thinking. I thought probably he would die, but you know, you never know until you play it. Let's drop down our spike unit just for extra safety. Now he's taking spike damage as well. Oh, that's right, because he sweeps. As I mentioned, sweep units are a really good way for us to take out entire waves when we have multiple frostbite triggers on the same floor. We can sting here. We can add... doesn't matter. Let's just finish the fight. This frostbite's getting out of control. So that'd be pretty crazy if I somehow managed to get the challenge on the first run. But maybe it'll happen. Do we take a second Ensnare? I think Ensnare is quite good for us. We saw it work really well on the last fight. Getting Preserve onto our Permafrost so that we can freeze our Pyre Bound is really important. And then I think we need to start trimming out, right? We still have quite a few damage cards. We have the Stings we need to get rid of. We have a Train Steward we need to get rid of. So that's 1, 2, 3. For 5, and hopefully we get a better damage spell than what we have now. I guess we could go for no damage spells if we want to get even, you know, up the ante on our challenge. So we'll definitely go this route. We have a lot of coins to spend anyway. Okay, so then we can just get Permafrost on our Siren Song. Alternatively, we can get Permafrost on Guardian's Amulet so that it stays in hand until we can use it with Offering Token. I think that that's probably better. Getting -1 onto Restoring Retreat. What we really want is Holdover on Pyre Bound. And then we can increase the amount of healing on one of our restores. Let's re-roll. Double stack onto one of our Wildwood Saps is really strong. Double stack on Siren Song is also really good. 6 Dazed. That makes it 180 damage. I think that's worth it. And I don't think we want to make it free. Instead, I would rather have a free Restoring Retreat. We can have 1 restore that then gets consumed. And now we get rid of our last Train Steward. And I think we get rid of a Frozen Lance. Because Stings at least replenish themselves with draw. We will be likely going this route to heal up our Pyre, remove 2 cards, and do the Merchant of Magic again. And possibly the same thing, although we might, by this point, we might want to Hellvent and we could increase the health of some of our units before we fight the end boss. But for sure we're going to do one more Hell Vent. That will get rid of 2 of our spikes, or 2 of our... maybe we just get rid of the Frozen Lance, the other Sting, and we keep the 3rd one as our 1 damage spell. Let's see how we do against Fel. I mean, the nice thing is now we have the saps. The bad thing is that the saps make it so that nothing happens, right? She just sits there. It's really that we want to use the saps as a last resort before they get to the pyre. Okay, so how do we want to play this? We need to get rid of the ultimate penance. Putting the sentry will kill both of those units. And what is Fel doing? Fel is okay, adding adding Scourge cards, which means she'll also... No, she doesn't. She's not the one that adds in units. That's Seraph, if Seraph has the Scourge. So then let's do Sentient on the 2nd floor. Titan Sentry on the 1st floor. And we don't really want to draw a lot right now, although we could... We can use a Sting to try to start working our way through. Not that we need to. Just to get the draw. An Offering Token. And we don't really need to ensnare, but being able to draw again is helpful. So we'll just play it out. Guardian's Amulet. Let's put our 2nd Titan Sentry down. We can go for 2 Wildwood Saps. We kept it. We lost it. Is there anything here we want to preserve? I don't think so. We can use Ensnare for the draw. Put Energy Weakness onto Seraph. Or Spell Weakness onto Seraph. Those would also be really good to get rid of, because we don't really need the Spell Weakness. And then we definitely want to preserve Pyrebound. Get rid of the Ultimate Penance. I think we leave the Sentient up there for now. We root him. And Sting. Apply more spell weakness. Apply more spell weakness. We get rid of our Consume Restore right now. I think we save it in case we actually take enough damage that we're going to need it. We do another Sting. Let's put out the Wildwood Sap and hope we keep it. We did. And we'll leave it like that. Getting all that Frostbite onto Fel is also not bad. Let's get the Offering Token, Offering Monument. We ensnare him again. What else would we want to give Permafrost to? Let's play out the Sentry. We can put out more spell weakness. We could even sap Fel now. Apply Frozen. So now, yeah, this one's permafrosted, so we can do it like that. We have another Ensnare. I'd really like to get Restoring Retreat so we can put down the other train sentry. But I don't know if that's actually the optimal play. Because we'll get a Restoring Retreat later on. And we could... that would make sense. We could use this to make it permanent. Get more spell weakness onto Fel. And then I think doing the Wildwood Sap. That one, now we've lost both of them. So he'll have 18 base. Root him again. And I think we end it like that. Oh, I probably should have been spreading the roots around. I wasn't thinking about that. Let's get the two. Let's root. 1. He'll be rooted for a while. We can sting, draw, sting, draw. Oh, we don't draw anymore. We can do a second ensnare. Put 2 energy weakness onto Fel. We can even sap them, but we actually want them to do damage to our guy. Let's get more sap onto Fel. We can root him as well. And I think we add regen, and now we bring down the other Titan Sentry. I think we're going to be in good shape. I mean, even if they get to the top floor, we can then apply Siren Song. You know, actually using Siren Song on Fel might have been beneficial for us. Do any of them... I don't think we do Sap. Energy weakness. Or spell weakness. We can Offering Guardian Stone to not take any damage here. But I don't really think that that's necessary. He's dead. These guys are going to take 30 and then 9. We have not yet played enough cards out. So let's play a card. We can... I think let's ensnare... No, we can Pyre Bound them, so let's let them go up. Instead, let's make sure some of these guys are staying rooted. And I'm almost thinking just putting this out here so that, because these two guys can do damage to our sentient. That's just fine. We can then, yeah. So I think we do play the sap. We can use a sting on something just to draw on him so that he dies, and then playing triple restore. Restore, 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 and we can just put this on the Frozen Lance just to make sure we don't draw back into it again. So that our Sentient's going to take... Oh, that's right. We then get these contritions in our deck, which is not fantastic. Let's play both of them out. Spell weakness. spell weakness. This is interesting. We could Restoring Retreat on him to make sure that he dies. Oh, we needed a Pyre Bound. That's a problem. So we'll take 10 damage to our Pyre, because we did not play Pyre Bound. We could Restoring Retreat one of them, or we could root. We could root one, Restoring Retreat the other, and then Pyre Bound the three of them together. I think we do it that way. So we root him, Restoring Retreat him. Now why are we only taking... We're taking 7 damage. Oh, because it's spikes. That's right. He does spikes. And then we can do Sting onto this guy. Okay, so now we Pyre Bound all three of them together. That is a must. Or Siren Song. Yeah, Siren Song. So now they all die. We can get rid of a Weight of Contrition. Put more energy damage. We can Restoring Retreat. Use the Guardian's Amulet on Fel. Does that even matter? Probably not. Actually, it even increased the amount of damage that we're... or lowered the amount of damage that we're taking. Frozen Lance. No. Let's restore again. Rooted doesn't matter. And let's just keep our restore so we don't draw into it. And we need Siren Song for these guys. We also need Siren Song for Fel. Yeah, that was a mistake. She would have died, except that we used the sap. So it's a little bit negative synergy there. Energy Siphon. Energy Siphon. We can Restoring Retreat and Root. Alternatively, does this do enough? That gets 6. So we would take 10 Pyre damage. Then I feel like it makes more sense to do it here like that. So he'll die. So we can descend the other. Root him. And then with Pyre Bound, we might be okay. Let's Sting to draw and preserve, just to ensure that we are. Yeah, so let me just do this. So we'll get. Keep saying Pyre Bound. We'll get Siren Song. We take 1 damage. And that should kill all of them. Just to be extra certain, let's play out enough cards that we can... Yes, so then we want to Guardian's Amulet, then Siren Song, and we die, or he dies without taking any fire damage. Cool. Cycle of Life. Awoken's Rail Spike. I mean, even just getting this guy with our champion. We would need to significantly lower the cost of Cycle of Life for it to be worth it. Excuse me. And he's pretty consistently good because we just put him on a floor, and then we don't really need the energy, I don't think. So I think channel or shard channeler is going to be best for us. More draw or more energy. Maybe one more energy would make sense now, because there are some turns when we're having to decide what to play, and having that go away would be great for us. Definitely taking the fire health. We're going to remove 2 cards. I think we still keep the Sting over the Frozen Lance because of the draw. And maybe we make the biggest Sting in the world. Let's see. Holdover we need on Siren Song. And then we just play it every turn. Or we can just preserve whatever we want and play Preserve every turn. That actually is a kind of interesting idea, right? So then we just keep playing Preserve, or sorry, we keep playing Preserve over and over again. We can always preserve whatever we need, but honestly, getting Siren Song on holdover just means we're never going to take pyre damage. It kind of counteracts our roots a little bit, but I think we do that minus the cost of one of our restores. I think our big restore. Plus 10 magic power. I mean, if we're going to use the Sting, we might as well make it a strong one, right? Or we do... yeah, let's make the Sting strong since it's our damage spell that we're keeping. Getting a double stack onto Guardian's Amulet. Rooted. Wildwood Sap. Minus the cost of the other restore. And adding more damage to our stings. Our sting. And then we'll save the rest for the final fight. Rejuvenate, deal 20 damage to the front enemy unit. Or deal 15 damage to the front enemy unit. I actually think the spikes is still better. Because we, well, yeah, because we tank. Like, he's really, at the end, after all of the frostbite stacks have gone up, non-boss enemy units restore all health. Actually, this is why it's fine, because we can do 240 damage to any unit that ends up on the top floor. The only issue is going to be Ember Drain, which I believe the Ember Drain unit is there. Yeah, so like, these guys all die. And we can already start stacking regen. So let's get one. That's 15, 23, 38. We could put the Sentient in front. He can take 38 damage. And put Titan Sentry here. Second Titan Sentry here. And then we start stacking regen, but we really want regen on some of these guys here. But given that we don't have a choice, let's see what we get. Now we lost it. We can descend him so that we can kill the extinguish trigger for 100. Put this guy out. Or we just descend it. No, it won't take damage. Descend him. Sting. Keep it, please. We lost it. So now we have to play out restores just to keep the regen. And we can start rooting some of these guys. I mean, you root him 4 times and he dies. He's not really doing a lot of damage. Oh, we really want him, so let's put him there for now. And then, oh, we might have been able to actually get to him. Restore. And then we can, oh, we can actually move him down already. So now they're taking 80 damage, or why is he taking 80 compared to the others? I don't know. And then we preserve Siren Song. We can play another restore. We can ensnare this one a second time. Which one? It doesn't really matter. We can restore again. And we can just dump spell weakness on a guy. This is actually working really well, surprisingly. I'm very impressed with how this deck came together. I'm curious how it does on, I think on the higher covenants, clearly it's going to be more difficult. But I still think you could make it work. Non-boss enemies restore all health when they move up a floor. Oh, this is a different one. So he dies. He's already rooted. We want to root this one. The rest are going to die. We can even apply a root again onto him. Why does he only take... Oh, he only takes 20 because the rest of them are dying. We can sting him, and then he dies. We can bring down another one of our Titan Sentries. Play our restores on our champion to increase his regen. I don't think we don't want to sap because we want them to die. We can put more spell weakness, and then we can keep our offering frozen so that we draw it, or so that we keep it for when we want to do the sap. Handful. We can bring down the last Titan Sentry and restore again. Sting. So now he's dying. We can root him twice. Put Energy Siphon on him. Another Energy Siphon. Everything's already frozen. And I think we're in good shape. We Sting, that takes care of that unit. We apply Root. We can heal him. Put 2 Energy Siphons out just to have them out. They're both rooted. We can root him again. We can restore, and preserve nothing. Restoring retreat. Restore. Sting. Energy siphon, root, preserve. And he's already dead. He's just bashing his head against spikes. Oh, this is hilarious. Man, I really like these. I really like these challenges. You get some hilarious decks. Restoring 30 health and applying 4 regen is really strong for us. Being able to continue to, and I think we're gonna go the route of the Merchant of Magic anyway, because we only have to get rid of 1 card. If we want, we don't even have to get rid of it. We are technically now fulfilling the challenge. If we want to go extra, we can get rid of the other Sting, which I think is actually fine for us. Frenzied Swarm. I don't think we want Dazed. Guardian Stone. Just to stack even more armor. We play a ton of spells on that bottom floor. And we'll get him down there. So let's go this route. We'll take the Pyre Health, take the money, and we can get another double stack onto Awake. Which makes a lot of sense. Alternatively, I mean, we don't need energy. Most of our things cost 1 or 0 energy. Lowering its cost by 1 is beneficial, so that it's a little bit easier to play it. Getting more spell power onto this restore is not a bad thing. Let's check out what trinkets we can get first. We don't need the Sting. Gain 2 stacks of frostbite each time it is applied. Yeah. That fits really well. Let's re-roll. Do we want to gain permafrost on something? I think not. We have easy ways to get permafrost. Reducing the spell cost for anything else? Does that make sense? Increasing magic damage on this restore. We can lower the cost of, one of these Wildwood Saps, and maybe we keep it. I mean, then let's re-roll, see if we get something useful. At the end of turn, apply Frozen. Playing a spell deals 2 random damage, sure. And then we can get rid of the last Sting. Let's do it. Let's have a pure pacifist build. So there is no direct damage whatsoever in our deck. The spell weakness is completely worthless, just to incant, I guess. So the enemies take damage literally because they're attacking us. That's it. That's the only reason they take damage, is because they attack us. So if they weren't so aggressive, they would be just fine to survive. Now what's also interesting is that I can use Pirebound to stack Dazed onto Seraph before he starts his fight. I don't know how useful that is, but just a thought. We could do it that way. Let's get rid of that. He consumes the first spell played, which is great. That means we can, and we have a chance that he doesn't consume them, but we can get rid of the energy siphons real quick. And it was preserved anyway. Let's get Titan's Sentry. And actually now we can't get Awake out right away because of the Vengeful Spikes. So we'll get rid of the Vengeful Shards. And we'll put the Sentient on the second floor. We definitely need him to have more health. We will play Pirebound just to make sure that we keep it. And I think we heal him right away. We can also apply some regen. Getting the Titan Sentry. And there we go. Now we can start chaining. So let's get Wildwood Sap. Let's hope that it stays. We've preserved it. That's great. We can get the Channeler. We can then Offering Token to draw 2. We get rid of the Vengeful Shard. We can start stacking regen. I don't think we play the Guardian Stone yet. And I think we then play Siren Song. All of them except for Guardian's Amulet are free. So we play this so that we get holdover. And I think we're in really good shape. Because we can already Pyre Song now to get him to the top floor and die. Oh crap! Did I just consume it? I just consumed it. Well, let's hope we can manage without it. That's been my problem. I'm not paying attention. Gosh. I can get spell weakness on him. Vengeful Shard. Vengeful Shard. Let's hope we keep this Wildwood Sap. We didn't. We lost it. Another Vengeful Shard. Need to ensnare anything. Now we do, because we don't have... Let's root one. Let's root him. We can restore health. And then we can play Preserve. Wow, he got really close to dying. Vengeful Shard. We may need to, like, descend this guy. Or, no, we can just Guardian's Amulet. If we can draw our Offering, which we can't. Oh, wait, it's right here. So we draw Offering now to get rid of that. Then we take far less damage. Let's get rid of the Vengeful Pyre. And we could even root him. Awake is so strong. I feel like we need to try to play it if we can. The rest of these, except for Wildwood Sap, are 0 cost. I think we play Awake. We got the Wildwood Sap, but we can preserve it. The rest of these guys are... the goal is to move him down, and then they're taking 80 damage spikes, which is enough to kill them. So here we want to root him, with the goal to get back our Offering, plus Guardian's Amulet next turn. So we'll root him. We might have actually wanted to root that guy. But if we get the Offering and can root later on, that would also work. Let's start applying more regen. Alternatively, we heal him back to full health. Do some damage. Let's just start applying spell weakness so we can get damage on him. Now, we gotta think about what to play as our first turn. I think the Wildwood Sap, because it already could potentially consume. If it doesn't, we preserved it. We root. He's going to die. He's taking 8, 16, 32. A lot of damage. If we can incidentally kill him, then we survive. I don't think it's gonna happen. We got 1. Oh, he's surviving. That was very close. So then let's stack this onto him. They're all going to take a lot of damage, and then if I can Guardian's Amulet all of them, we'll take very little damage to our pyre. So we offering. Most of them are dying. We could even root some of them. Vengeful Shard. Vengeful Shard. Let's put the incant. Our Guardian Stone. Vengeful Shard. Did we get rid of our Descend? We did get rid of our Descend. I mean, I guess it's fine. It's would have been nice to keep, but it is what it is. We can restore health there. Man, I'd really love to keep that awake. Let's just start doing incidental damage to these enemies. We're gonna root this guy. Or ensnare. We'll ensnare him. Energy Siphon, just to get damage and armor. And then, how much damage are we taking? 4, 6, 8, 10. No, 4, 6, 8. 4, 8, 12, 16 damage. Really want to get awake on him, and now we finally don't have all these vengeful shards. And even if we drew one, we could offering it out. We have 2 ensnares. We can ensnare him with the idea that we basically do what we did before. I think that, or we ensnare both of them. 10 damage isn't really a big... Well, actually, then... Yeah. 10 damage isn't really a huge deal. I think we don't need to root. I think we root here. Although, that is a thought. If we play 2 spells up here, then he just dies. So let's play the Preserve to do some damage to him. We'll Preserve... doesn't matter. We're going to end up playing it anyway. And if we ensnare him, let's see what we draw, because we could just draw a spell weakness and then let's play the Offering and the Guardian's Amulet. So then it dies. Energy Siphon. We need to restore him at least once. We play Awake to really stack up his regen. We heal him again. And we keep stacking his regen. And armor. Final wave. We're doing currently 325. Energy Siphon, 330, 665. So we must have reached some kind of threshold. Oh yeah, because now he doesn't die right away. And then every additional hit will be additional stacks onto him. What are we likely to get? We could get Guardian's Amulet. We could get Awake. They're doing 8, 16, 32. Put the ensnare on one of them. This one. Put the ensnare on the second one. That adds 8 extra hits. Right? Why doesn't it? Oh, because he's sapped. Need to keep him alive. So how much is he sapped? He's sapped 2. So he will be doing 30. Oh, because that guy wasn't dying as quickly. Now he dies. We can even sap just to really make it that he dies. We can add extra regen just to really make sure that he dies. We can ensnare, energy siphon, energy siphon. Restore, preserve, and play the other one. We click one fire damage. Cool. So we managed to put the run together and get, I think, pretty good. Pretty good deck to fulfill the challenge. Now the question is, do I think that I can do it again on a higher Covenant level? Should we try it? Try it on our current Covenant level and see if we can pull it off? I think we try it.